I've been playing this thing so much, I feel like I might have forgotten about another little device with a screen on it, but I just can't seem to put my finger on it. Anyways, I was cleaning my house and I found this dusty thing in the corner. Let's talk about 5 Wii U games to get before this thing also loses the eShop. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Ty here, and today I'm going to be going over some Wii U games to pick up before the eShop closes. Now, I haven't done a lot of Wii U videos. I've done a couple, and the main reason is I'm not the biggest Wii U guy. I have a Wii U, and I had fun with it. I loved Smash Bros on the Wii U. That's about it. No, I love Nintendo Land. Mario 3D World was great on there. But honestly, just compared to the 3DS and what we're losing on the Wii U, 3DS is losing a lot more than the Wii U really is. The Wii U it's definitely having its good share of losses, especially on the virtual console side of thing. But the 3DS in general, none of those games have really been ported to any other Nintendo console. I say that like there's a lot. They haven't been ported to the Switch. But however, a lot of Wii U's library is already on the Switch, and there's really only a few games missing that haven't been brought to the Switch. And this list can also be viewed as something like that. These games need to be brought to the Switch, and maybe I'll even call it that. But at the moment, these are just the Wii U games to pick up because I'm not really sure if they will ever make their way to the Switch. There's one exception on this list, maybe two, but overall, these are games that I'm recommending because I just don't see it happening. So that's why this list is also pretty small. But before we get into all that, just want to say, if I forgot something, leave it in the comments below. Let me know your Wii U suggestions before the shop closes. Let's get into it. So up at number 5 here, we got Sonic Lost World. Sonic Lost World is, I don't know, I feel like people hate it. I guess I don't really know the consensus on a lot of Sonic games. I know it's similar to Pokemon where the opinion changes after a while. But this game, I haven't actually played it on Wii U. Played it on PC, and I know the Wii U has like an exclusive like multiplayer, and it also has Zelda DLC, which is something that's definitely not going to be coming to any other platform for the time being, at least. I'd be really shocked. But I liked the level design. I thought some of it was really cool, some of it was really unique. It's modern Sonic gameplay, but he's not really blasting through the levels that crazy quickly, which is nice. It's nice that you get to actually play the worlds. I loved a lot of the ones where you were on like a cylinder and you could like walk around it and like basically walk around the whole thing. It was just really cool that it wasn't just flat plains. It was, you were walking on something upside down. It was basically like you were walking on one of the Sonic loops, but you were walking on the part of the loop that had been cut out. If that makes any sense? I don't know how to explain it, but it was just some really cool little level designs that we haven't really seen since. I also like the enemy designs. I can't think of their name, but like Zavok, I liked him a lot. I know he's appeared in a couple other spin-offs and games like Sonic Forces and the mobile app, but I don't know if he actually appeared in the mobile app, now I'm saying that out loud, but I digress. Sonic Lost World, I don't think it's as bad. I don't know what the consensus is, but if it's not good, it should be good, because it's fun. And like I said, it's got that Zelda DLC, that's something that's going to be lost once the eShop closes. I have no clue what this game really goes for physically. A lot of these I just recommend getting digitally, because some of it's your only option, some of it's the best option due to price. At number 4 here, though, we got Metroid Prime Trilogy, and now you're thinking, that's a Wii game. Yes, but it's also on the Wii U eShop. This game right now on the Wii is pretty expensive. It's probably going to run you about $100. So on the eShop, I think it's only about $20-$30, which is really good price. You're getting these 3 games for the price of not even one. And another thing is Metroid Prime 4 is definitely coming out eventually. Maybe the Switch might be dead when that happens, but it's still eventually. Maybe 5 years into the Switch 2's life cycle, it'll get released on the Switch. But I digress about that. And the Metroid Prime Trilogy, though, is a serious bang for your buck. You're getting these 3 big games. and honestly, that alone is really good. But if you don't know what Metroid Prime is, it's Metroid but in first person. And although I still need to play them, I am so interested in this concept. I just literally have not gotten around to playing them yet. You can get these games obviously on your own. Like there's always the Wii U, and there's always or not the Wii U. There's always getting the third one on Wii, and then you can always get the other two on the GameCube. But realistically, probably not your best bet. They would total to a lot more, and picking up this version physically, again, it's like $100. One thing I do want to say about this though is that this may come to the Switch. There's been like tons and tons of like talk like, oh, this Metroid Prime Trilogy is coming to the Switch, and it's just never come to fruition. But the idea doesn't seem that crazy because of Metroid Prime 4. So this is something I would hold out on, because the Wii U eShop isn't closing until March. So if you really want to get this, maybe hold out for a while. Hold out on it if you can wait and see what happens, especially at E3. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a thing that gets announced and is like available next month, because it's not going to be a crazy release, but it's probably going to sell pretty well. I don't think it's something Nintendo's going to hype up like a big release, but they'll hype it up enough to make sure it sells. Number 3, Paper Mario Color Splash. This game is probably not coming to the Switch. I would be pretty surprised. The reception was pretty poor. I've never finished it. It's another game I never finished because I just lost a lot of interest on the Wii U around that time of the life cycle. But the writing, like the thing people talk about the most is the writing, which is one thing that did carry the game. If you like if you liked the writing and you liked Origami, or if you liked Origami King, you like this game. It's I mean, really, I don't really think the battle systems are all that great in Origami King or this game. I think Origami King is a cool battle system, but the bosses is really where it shines. But every fight doing the whole rotation battle thing, it just gets old really fast. I would just prefer some normal RPG battles. But it's a cool concept for Origami King. I digress though about Origami King. Color Splash makes pretty decent use of the Wii U gamepad, so they would have to put in a good amount of work, I would think, to make use of the make use of it on the Switch. They would have to put more work compared to some other titles, is what I'm trying to get at here. So I kind of think I don't really see it in Nintendo's eyes as being something worth their time, because I don't really think there's a demand for Color Splash to be on the Nintendo Switch. This game has already gone up in price on the Wii U. I think it's gotten to like a $60 game, which is pretty expensive for a Wii U game. A lot of Wii U games were pretty cheap for a while, and now we're seeing that tick back up. But if you want to have all these Paper Mario games, this is one that is probably going to get left behind to time because of having some Wii U but like Wii U attachment to it. Like, literally gotta use the gamepad. I mean, obviously I would love to be proven wrong. It'd be interesting, but I just don't really see them revisiting it. It just didn't do that great in the first place. Number 2 is the Super Mario Advance series, mainly 4. Super Mario Advance, if you don't know, are just a bunch of remakes released on the Game Boy Advance of Mario NES and SNES titles. I think the first one is the first 2 games, and then the second Advance game it's either Yoshi's New Island or Super Mario World, and 3 is one of those 2, whichever wasn't the second one. And then the 4th one is the one I specifically recommend getting, is Super Mario Bros. 3. I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is, like, out of the NES, SNES games, is the best one. I love Super Mario Bros. 3. However, you also get the e-reader card levels. Now, the e-reader card levels would be kind of a pain to do on, like, modern technology, because you'd need to get the cards, you would need an e-reader, you need the game and a Game Boy Advance. It's a lot of stuff to play a couple extra levels, but it's nice on the Wii U version, they're included in the game, all of them, and for a very low price. I think they're like $5 to $8, I don't really know, but seriously something I really recommend picking up. Mario Bros. 3 is just in general something everyone should experience. I think any of those Mario games is something anyone should experience, but again, really cheap price for probably one of the better versions of it too. And number one, this shouldn't be a surprise, but since it hasn't been mentioned yet, Xenoblade X. I'm putting this out there for anybody who's been either thinking about the Xenoblade series or has interest in any type of mecha thing. Xenoblade X is a very different Xenoblade game. I mean, it has a lot, like the combat is somewhat similar, but it looks a lot more grittier. I guess when I look at it, I can't really help but think the art style reminds me of Metal Gear Rising. Hopefully no one hates me for that, but it does. It's got that little bit of grunge to it, but it's also kind of colorful. I don't know if that makes sense. But I don't think we'll be seeing this style for a while. It looks a lot more like Xenoblade from the Wii, but not saying. I mean, Xenoblade on the Wii didn't look really great, but for the time it was something. But if you go back to it now, you know. But I do like Xenoblade X's look. Because it looks more intentional. I do think it's also a very beautiful game. It has a great soundtrack. Probably one of the most underrated Wii U soundtracks if we're going off of anything. There is also the possibility of this one getting ported to the Switch, but I kind of doubt it because, you know, we did get a remake of 1. That made sense. This just doesn't make a lot of sense because the series just kind of seems to want to not talk too much about it, though I could be totally wrong. I'm not a Xenoblade expert. I've just kind of done my own little research. But what I do know is that the director would love to make a sequel to it. So, you know, maybe if it does get a sequel, maybe they'll try porting this over first, see if there's interest in a sequel. Who knows? I do recommend getting this one digitally or finding it cheap as you can, because this is also another one that's risen a lot in price because they've kind of said that they aren't really planning on a port due to money concerns, and that's a legit concern because it also was a Wii U game that didn't do too great. A lot of Wii U games didn't do too great because the system itself didn't do too great, and games are expensive to make. So, but that's it, everyone. Thanks for wait. Every time I do a video, I always get a comment. It's like, why didn't you mention Zelda? Why didn't you mention Zelda? You thought I was going to forget about Zelda again? No. We have time for bonus game. The biggest Switch game, or the biggest Wii U game that needs to either make its way to the Switch or something, or make sure you get it now. It's the Zelda Twilight Princess and Wind Waker remakes and ports, or whatever you want to call them. Zelda is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, and it needs to be treated like one. I think Nintendo needs to do a lot better job at making sure all their past work for their biggest IPs like Zelda, Mario, Metroid need to be more well preserved so people can continue enjoying them. And the Wii U was honestly home to... The Wii U was probably like one of the best systems to play Zelda games on. You had like this big library of the retro ones. You had... because I think you had Minish Cap, you had Zelda 1 and 2, you could play Skyward Sword on there, you could play Twilight Princess on there because of the Wii backwards compatibility. I'm probably forgetting some other things. Another thing, though, is that, yeah, you get the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD remakes on there. I don't really know how much these go for. I know Twilight Princess has gotten insanely expensive, especially for the Amiibo. So I recommend another digital recommendation. These have potential getting to the Switch. A lot of people, this is another one just like the Metroid Prime Trilogy has been rumored for a while. So again, this is one I would hold out on if you're more into the Switch. I think they would actually look really good on there too. But yeah, that they're like, I wanted to make sure I mention them because I think they deserve it. It's, you know, a lot of people are like, why aren't you mentioning Zelda titles? I'm not the biggest Zelda guy, more so because I haven't played a lot of them, but I do see the importance of the series. I get why people like it, so that's something I want to mention to you. If you're thinking about the Zelda series, a Wii U is honestly probably a great console for you because it has N64 ones, I believe, NES ones, probably some of the SNES ones, some Game Boy Advance ones. All right, there you go, everyone. That's like, I mean, if you count the Mario Advance series, that's 4 games. Xenoblade X, the Metroid Prime Trilogy, Color Splash, Lost World. That's actually 12 games. I said 5 in the title, so you're welcome. Oh man, we went on way too long about Wii U games, but not as long as 3DS games. So yeah, if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. And if you like what you saw, consider subscribing. Really appreciate it. And thank you again for like 1,000 subscribers. As I'm making this, getting close to 1,100, which is really crazy to me. It's just been insane these last couple of months, and I seriously cannot be more grateful. So yeah, until next time, everyone, make sure you dust off your Wii U. Mine was caked on there.